Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're dreaming of riding in Vietnam, maybe through the streets of Hanoi, Saigon, or up into the mountains of the north, even a one-way rental from Hanoi to Saigon, then you've probably asked yourself the question, can I do this legally? The short answer is definitely yes, but you need to have the right license. Particularly with the updates in the law on January the 1st, there's been a lot of talk about licensing and legality of riding in Vietnam. So here's the most up-to-date information on this. And before we get into all this, I know you're thinking that people just get on a bike, they go where they want, and they don't need licenses or anything like that. Well, that's true. Some people do that, but they open themselves up to trouble with the police, the insurance, and possibly some serious legal consequences. We'll get into all this as we go through the video. Now, if the police stop you for some reason, maybe you've been speeding, maybe you jumped a red light, maybe they're just stopping you to check your license, then they will check your license, and if you've got the wrong license, you will get fined. The official fines for a small bike are around 6 to 8 million dong, and that's about $250 to $350 US. But very often you can pay an on-the-spot fine, which is a bit less than that, and then the police will let you go on your way. If you don't have the right license, then they're not going to pay for your injury costs and all the medication and medical expenses. And you might also incur some third-party costs if you hit someone. In some serious cases, the police might want to prosecute you for not having a license. Also, bear in mind that your licenses need to be valid. Obviously, if your IDP is out of date, it's not valid anymore. So you've got to check that. Make sure that your licenses are still valid for the whole duration of your trip in Vietnam. So what do you need to drive legally in Vietnam? Now, most of you are going to be tourists coming over, and you're going to have a home license. Something like this. This is my UK license, and I've got the endorsement A, meaning I can drive any size bike. But this is not valid unless I've also got an IDP. Now, the IDP, there are two versions of this, the 1968 and the 1949. The 1949 is not valid in Vietnam, so you need a 68 accompanied with your license. Also, your IDP needs to be endorsed on the back with the correct endorsement for the vehicle that you're driving. Now, in Vietnam, that's going to be over a 175cc for the A, and then an A1 if you're driving anything under 175cc. The other way for some people to drive in Vietnam, those that are here more long-term, over 3 months, and they have a longer visa, maybe a temporary residency card, is to get a Vietnamese license. This is an A1 and this is an A2. We'll talk about the difference between A1 and A2 in a moment. For those people that are on a longer term visa, then they can get one of these Vietnamese licenses. And it's good for you to look at our blog post on this, how to drive legally in Vietnam. So let's be super clear about what's not valid for driving in Vietnam. If you've got just your home license, it's not valid. It needs to be accompanied by a 1968 IDP. If you've got a Vietnamese license, it needs to be A1 for a small bike. If you've got an A2 license, that means you can drive any CC bike right up to the big, large 1000 or more CCs. If you can find one in Vietnam, that is. Obviously, if you've got no license at all, you're driving illegally. Now, some of you might have seen on the internet that there's an IAA international driving license, and they say that they're covered in Vietnam. But unfortunately, the local cops here don't recognize this, and so you will get fined, and very likely your insurance will not cover you as well. So if you're on a tourist visa and you don't have an original license from home and the correct 1968 permit, you cannot drive legally in Vietnam, and you open yourself up to some serious problems. Riding without a license means that you could be fined by the cops, you might have problems with your insurance, you can even have problems with third party if you hit someone, cause any damages, and this can then lead to some legal issues. My advice is to definitely play it safe, play it smart, get the right license, and make sure that you're covered. Then you can enjoy your trip fully. You can ride around the country, enjoying the amazing scenery, the wonderful people, and really have a great time. Vietnam is an excellent place for motorbike touring. Whether you want to go through the north on the loop, you want to head south, Hanoi, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, or if you want to head south, do maybe Hanoi to Da Nang or down to Ho Chi Minh City. It's a wonderful place for riding, but only if you're doing it legally and safely. For more resources, we've got a list of interesting blogs in the description below. We've got things like how to drive in Vietnam legally, what the traffic violations are, how to get a local license, how to get an IDP, all you need to know about an IDP, and it's all really useful information that will help you plan for your trip. Most importantly, it means you'll have the right information, you'll be safe and legal. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this helpful, so you can give it a like. Remember, you can subscribe, you can share, and if you want, you can comment below. You might have some questions on this, or there might be some updates you maybe have heard about. We can answer all those comments for you and put you on the road to being safe, legal, and then enjoying your trip. Stay safe out there when you drive, and happy travels.